Back with the Yamaha Blaster. So last time around, part one, we put front brakes on it because those had been torn off. So I got those back on there, and then we took it for a ride, and it was leaking out oil everywhere out of the engine in there. So I was actually looking around, and I saw there's a sight glass down here. Just taking a look at that sight glass in there. So that should be, the fluid level should be in between the lines there. But as you see, there's just oil all up in there. It's filled, or overfilled, I think. So I think oil was just leaking out of the overflow, which is somewhere up here. So I'm gonna drain all the oil out and we'll fill it to the correct level, and then we'll see if it's still leaking, and hopefully our problem was that it was just overfilled. Hopefully this cup will hold all of it and I don't make a mess. I don't think I thought this through, but I don't really care. Yeah, that's like brand new oil. Brand new oil. Let's see if it's gonna overflow my cup here. Hopefully I'm not like completely in the way. So I drained out about half of what was in there, which was about this much. That is over 32 ounces. I'm not sure. It says 650, I think that's 650 cc. I don't know what that is in ounces. That's over a liter of oil, and it's still not even quite halfway. Let me show you. Taking a look at that sight glass there. Oh my god, my camera. Why? So it's still a little bit above halfway, and we drained out all that oil out of there. So I have a feeling that was whoever filled this overfilled the living daylights out of it. Oil's now filled to the proper level. It's about halfway up that sight glass. I ended up getting about another half one of those cups of oil drained out of it. So it was definitely overfilled, because it only took, when I filled it back up, it only took like maybe half of that, half of a half, so a quarter. Yeah, math, right? A quarter of one of those cups that I drained it out of. It only took like a quarter of that to fill it up. So I was definitely overfilled. I have a feeling that's why it was leaking, probably was leaking out of the overflow. So good thing that we checked that, or saw that, because I'm sure that would have like blown a seal. Okay, before we go to start it back up, check for oil leaks, I actually went ahead and bought one of these Tours eliminator kits as I drop it all over. So yeah, it comes with a new throttle cable, and then a new cap for the slide, and then this here is the new idle adjuster. The problem I was having is I was trying to adjust the idle, which is up on top of the Tours unit. If I can find it. Right here. Yeah, right in here. I took it all out because it was actually completely stripped out. So when I was turning this thumb screw here, it wasn't actually moving this mechanism, which moves the slide up and down so you can set your idle. And instead of trying to, you know, tap new threads in that and fix that, I was just like, well, let me just remove the torque system entirely because it's stupid and we don't need it. And the removal kit's only like 20 bucks. So, yep, comes with this, the new idle adjuster, just like any other normal carburetor. And then it comes with the tap you'll need and the drill bit. So, that was like 20 bucks on eBay. Well worth it. Just get rid of that stupid safety feature anyways. We don't need that. Alright, got our Tors unit here. We're gonna have to get our slide off of this so we can put it on our new one. And it just unhooks just like that. So there's our slide, we'll need that. And then I believe we'll need our spring and this piece. And then this we can just throw in the trash. Gonna remove our old throttle cable here. Little cobweb in there. Camera, are you overthinking? Don't be overthinking, come on now. Getting our new one here. I'll get this out of the bag. There we go. Get our new slide onto here. So goes like that. Screw that on. Alright, that's done. Got the new. Alright, got the carb on the bench here, so we're going to be drilling with the drill bit that was provided through here. And then it came with a tap. We'll tap threads in there. This will screw in, and then this is what'll push up on the slide so that we can set our idle. Okay, got the threads tapped, the idle screws installed, got the slide and the carb installed and all that. And it's working. When you turn it in, it lifts up on the slide in there. Alright, so this thing just keeps getting better and better. It's still not working. I tried so far. I've taken out the carb. I cleaned out the pilot jet again. And I also found the float height wasn't right. It was set way too low. So I reset that back to spec, which is like 20 millimeter, I think. So the float height's good, pilot jet's clear. It only wants to run with choke. So I was checking for air leaks. I sprayed some starting fluid around the connector, the boot connections here. The one to the airbox was fine, but the one for the reeds, as soon as I sprayed it on there, it bogged out and died. So I was like, all right, so there's probably a leak there somewhere. And also the exhaust, I noticed it's really oily. Right there, where that exhaust stud is. So, anyways, so first I took the reed off. The reed itself, looks like those reeds are not closing all the way. Do you see that? Huh. And then gasket, one of the gaskets just crumbled and fell apart. I was also taking the exhaust off here because I think there's an exhaust leak too. Because that one exhaust stud is super oily. There's all kinds of oil everywhere. And when I took those off, this coupler here just that goes to the silencer here just fell off. So that wasn't even tight on there. And the silencer is just kind of loose on there like that. So yeah, this thing just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it? Well, I think I'm going to use some of this 3-bond 1211. This is basically like Yamaha bond, essentially. I'm going to use it, try to seal up this reed intake cage, the reed cage, yeah, that's what it's called, reed cage. So hopefully if there's an air leak here, we can hopefully seal that up and try to get this engine running right. But I have a feeling I'm going to have to do the crank seals on this. Alright, got the 3-bond 1211 all up in there. Bolts are torqued down. So we're just going to let that cure. And yeah, hopefully this stuff will work pretty good. Yeah. Alright, while we wait for the sealant to cure, let's go ahead and start working on the back brake. Alright, so the previous person who tried to do this really didn't do it right. The only thing they really had was a brake line and a caliper. They had some like generic master cylinder that wasn't right. It wasn't right for the blaster, and they tried to like weld and make it work, but it just wasn't working. So I have found this website, cticrontech.com or Crontech, whatever. They make these brackets that let you adapt a second generation blaster master cylinder caliper onto the first generation blaster, because the second generation blaster had a hydraulic rear brake. So I went ahead and I bought the brackets, and then I got a master cylinder, and yeah, so we'll reuse the caliper that they had. The brake pads are still good, they're like brand new. We'll do that. This bracket will let us adapt the caliper, and then we have our bracket here for the master cylinder, which will bolt up onto one of the mounts right there. And then it's missing the brake switch or the brake light, but if it had it, this is where you would mount your switch so you could have your brake light. So yeah, and then it comes with all the hardware you'll need too. So I definitely recommend, if you want to upgrade your blaster, the brakes in your blaster, check these guys out. They make some these are really nice parts too. They're like machined really, really nice. So, alright, I already went ahead and cut off the bracket that they had welded here. There's just the residual, whatever you call it, filler material from the weld. So I'm just going to grind that off so that our bracket will mount up. Alright, so here's the bracket to adapt a Gen 2 blaster caliper onto here. So this will mount here, and there's some spacers, and then your caliper will fit here, so it'll fit onto your rotor. However, just taking a look here, so these are the holes. However, there's this piece here. So it looks like somebody welded up a metal bracket here in an attempt to try to I'm not really sure what they were trying to do. I guess they were maybe trying to make this fit, and they were just using stuff that they had. Looks like they just welded it onto the carrier here. So this, we can't have this here, it's in the way, so I'm gonna have to grind this off. Okay, after a lot of fabricating and messing around and wasting a bunch of time, I finally think I got it to work. So, I don't know how to demonstrate this here. Alright, so I finally got the pedal to be firm. The pads are contacting the rotor surface, and now when I spin the wheel here, let's see, it stops it in place. Feels firm, no air in it. So I'll cut this hose to length so it's not dangling there, and I'll find a way to route this brake line, and then we should be good to go. Alright, we got the brake line going to the reservoir there, cut to length, and then I just kind of tied up the brake line there. It's kind of long. That's the one that the guy before me had used, so I just reused that. That's basically the only part that I really reused. That and the rotor and the lever. Everything else I had to change because it wasn't right. Oh, and the caliper too. So, yeah. We got a rear brake now. We have front brakes too. So, that whole situation is solved. Well, isn't that just minty? No wheels on it whatsoever. Well, actually, I got the wheels right over here because I have new tires. So I was going to try to change these here in the garage by myself. I bought this mini tire changer from Harbor Freight. Unfortunately, these wheels are stupid and they won't really work because they just slide right over the whole thing, and the plate that it comes with isn't wide enough to do this. I'm sure I could fabricate something up to make it work, but just gonna take them out to my parents' house, hopefully. These tires are completely screwed. I mean, look at sidewall's done. Doesn't hold air at all. None of them do. Well, one of them holds air, but... And I just set it on the ground because, yeah, who cares? Ah, this thing's such a piece of crap. A little bit. Okay, we got new front tires on. Check that out. Pretty nice. Those were not fun to get on. That was quite the endeavor. I didn't end up putting the new back tires on because this tire is actually fine. It holds air and everything. And it still has good tread left. So, this one goes flat, but the sidewall looks okay. So I'm not sure. There might be a hole somewhere on this, which I could fix. So instead of going through the effort to put new back tires on, especially when that one's okay, we'll just see if we can fix that one. So yeah, and then I guess I'll just have some spare tires for this. So yeah, anyways, I think that'll do it for part 2 on this. So we I don't even remember what we did. Oh yeah, we got the back brake system working. We deleted the Tours, although I still have some tweaking to do with that. And then we got new front tires on because those old ones were super bad. We're all rotted out. So yeah, next time we're just going to try to get the engine running. I think it has an air leak. I believe the crank seals are leaking because I sealed up the reed up here, but it's still revving up really high. So I think either the crank seals are leaking or possibly the base gasket. I might just tear the whole engine down. You really should tear the engine down to do the crank seals anyways if you want to do it right. So yeah, look forward to that. And yeah, thanks for watching the channel, and I will see you all later.